Hey everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media. And we are done with another month, which means I have to share with you guys all of the new media items I picked up in the previous month, this case in August 2024. So I have 13 new releases here, along with some figures, and Mill Creek sent over their box. I believe this is actually a September release, but I figured I would open it in this video as well. So tons to get through today. August was an awesome month, so let's not waste any more time at all. Let's dive right into all of my new items from the month of August. So I actually just picked this figure up today, but I'm going to include it in this video because I have a couple other figures to show in here, but this one is actually wrestling themed. I grabbed this from Ollie's for $3.99. This is a Ric Flair figure, and this is one of the old style WWE Superstar ones, so it's like a throwback to the old figures they used to make. And you can see here, there are a bunch in here. The one I really wanted was right there. I really wanted the Bray Wyatt figure, but unfortunately my store had like 7 billion copies of Ric Flair, but no other one. So no Bray Wyatt. Shout out to the physical media man, Joe. He mentioned that he found Bray Wyatt over at Ollie's, so that's why I went today. But unfortunately, I couldn't find Bray, but still, finding Ric Flair is an awesome get, especially for $4. That's how much I'm willing to pay for these, not like the 20 or whatever they are normally. But yeah, really cool. Obviously, I'm a huge Ric Flair fan. I mean, who isn't? The guy was one of the greatest wrestlers ever. So awesome find here. This is Ric Flair, the WWE Superstar. And I think I saw somewhere on here that this was like Series 1 or something. Yeah, there it is. Series 1. So hopefully I can find Bray at another Ollie's at some point here. But for now, I have Ric Flair in the collection. All right, so enough wrestling talk. Let's move over to movies now. And I grabbed both of these Funko Pops from Hot Topic. They had all of the Universal horror monsters there, but the ones I wanted were Frankenstein and his Bride of Frankenstein. I mentioned the other day that Bride of Frankenstein is one of my favorites of the Universal monster films, but of course you can't have the Bride without Frankenstein himself. So very happy I was able to find both of these, and you can take a look on the back. There were others. I think I saw, what else did I see while I was there? Gilman I saw, and Dracula. But I ended up just grabbing these two for now. Maybe if I go back next time, I'll grab a couple more. But these were, I think, buy one, get one 30% off. So it ended up being about $10 each, which is a pretty darn good deal for what it is. So very happy to have both of these in the Funko Pop collection, which I don't buy a ton of anymore. But when they look like this, I can't pass them up. So we have Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein. All right, I believe there's only one item in this box from Mill Creek. And like I said, I think this is their September release. And I believe I know what it is. And it's pretty darn cool. So let me get this box opened up here so I can share with you guys what they sent over. And of course, a thank you to Mill Creek, as I make a ton of noise in the microphone. But thank you to Mill Creek for sending these my way. I really appreciate that partnership. But here we are. Box is empty and mangled, I might add. Thank you, UPS, or whoever delivered that one. FedEx, I think. But anyway, yes, here it is. This is so cool. So this is part of their Icons Unearthed series. This time, we're talking about Fast and Furious. So the original was Star Wars, and then the second one that they did last month was The Simpsons, and now we have Fast and Furious. I have no idea how many of these are going to keep coming, but this is really cool. These are all 6-part documentary series about whatever topic it is, and this one should be a heck of a lot of fun. So on the back here is full-length, behind-the-scenes interviews with cast, crew, and experts revealing never-before-seen stories about the most iconic film and television series. That's awesome. So yeah, tons of really, well-known people on this. I can't imagine you're going to get everybody, but I mean, that's just the way it goes. So yeah, you can see the slipcover is included there. So tons of features, or tons of runtime on this. Let me see if I can find the actual runtime here. 4 hours and 24 minutes. So tons of content available on this release, which is really cool. So thank you to Mill Creek for sending this over. Definitely one I want to check out at some point here. This is Icons Unearthed, Fast and Furious, and I should have already put on the bottom of the screen when this one releases and its price if you're interested in picking it up for yourself. All right, I'm going to start off with the Blu-rays I grabbed, and some of these are just kind of random ones that I got, but they were new when I bought them, so that's why they're in this video. And first up here is a series that is very popular right now because it just received an Arrow video release this past month, but I'm cheap and I've not seen these films, but I did want to see them on Blu-ray first as opposed to the DVD I own. So I grabbed the Mexico Trilogy is what this one is called. So we have El Mariachi, Desperado, and Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Now, what's interesting about the Arrow video release of this is the fact that Desperado is the only of the three that's actually on 4K. The other two are on Blu-ray. So that was one of the other reasons. I just wasn't super interested in it. That along with the price, and I haven't seen these. So I decided just to grab this one. This was really cheap. I want to say somewhere around 12 bucks, I think, on Amazon. Unfortunately, the case did come cracked a little bit, which is super annoying, but not that huge of a deal. So yeah, both, you see on the inside here, we have two different discs. Once Upon a Time in Mexico by itself, and then El Mariachi and Desperado are together on the same disc. So probably not going to be the best quality, but this was more of a quantity over quality release. So yeah, happy to have this. Definitely going to visit this in an iWatch3 vlog here sometime soon. This is I keep messing it up. It's the Mexico Trilogy. I actually purchased this next one during Prime Days, but it was on back order, so it ended up coming last month. But this is a Kino Lorber double feature of FX and FX2. So I've not seen either of these movies, but I have heard really good things about them, and they sound super interesting. I believe there's like a murder that happens within this special effects crew, and so it's going to be an interesting thing here. I don't know exactly what it's about, but it sounded interesting, and it was a very good price for a double feature from Kino Lorber. Plus, there are special features on here too, which is really cool, including making of featurettes for both films. So that's awesome to see. So yeah, very good release, especially for the price. Kino Lorber's release of FX and FX2. Here's the first new release of last month, and I talked about this one in my anticipated releases video. This is Watchmen Chapter 1, and you can see I have not gotten a chance to watch this yet, but I definitely plan to soon. Now, this is available on 4K, but as I talked about in that video, I decided to save some money and just grab the Blu-ray release because it was notably cheaper than the 4K release. So definitely, you know, available on 4K if you are a huge fan of Watchmen, but like I said in that anticipated releases video, I liked the movie when I saw that in theaters, but I hadn't read the graphic novel at that point. Well, I read the graphic novel maybe a year or two ago now, so very intrigued to see what they do with this one. I think it's going to be, you know, multiple chapters to tell the story of Watchmen, which is just a fascinating read in general. So very excited to check out Watchmen Chapter 1. These next two are brand new to my doorstep, so I haven't gotten a chance to check them out yet, but I decided to pick up the sequels to Night of the Demons, and I grabbed both of these off of eBay. We have Night of the Demons 2 and Night of the Demons 3. So the reason I grabbed these is because I was watching, I think it was Planet CHH, he was doing his tour video recently, and he mentioned that Night of the Demons 2 he actually likes better than the original. I remember really enjoying the original, so I was super intrigued to check this one out, and then through the website, or through the seller I used, if you bought two, you got 20% off. So I decided, well, I might as well complete the series on Blu-ray, and both of these are Scream Factory releases, so very intrigued to see how these are, and you can see they are both just loaded with special features as well. So should be good releases and both brand new, so I figured I'd just stick them in this video rather than my eBay video. But happy to have Night of the Demons 2 and Night of the Demons 3. I guess I'll show these two together as well, two more that I talked about in my anticipated releases video, but I did grab both of these steelbooks from Walmart. We have Wolf Creek along with Hannibal Rising. So as I mentioned in that video, Hannibal Rising I have not yet seen, but I didn't own it, and I think it's the only one from that franchise that I didn't own on Blu-ray, so that's why I decided to grab this one. Plus, Wolf Creek, when I bought that, I needed another one to go with it to get free shipping, so it just made sense to get Hannibal along with it. But Wolf Creek is a movie I love, another from the torture era of horror films, and it's just really well done. One I actually only owned on Blu-ray, so Was very happy to upgrade this one to Blu-ray. I'm sorry, only owned on DVD, so I was happy to upgrade to the Blu-ray. But yeah, so cool releases. Obviously, I have not opened these yet, so I can't show you off the steelbook themselves. But yeah, very happy to have both of these from the Bloody Disgusting steelbook collection. Now, there were 7 releases, but I've owned everything else on Blu-ray already, so I didn't want to double dip on those just for the steelbook. But these 2 I didn't own, so they were now added to the collection. We have Wolf Creek and Hannibal Rising. This is another one that it might have been a Prime Day deal or just some random deal that I found on Amazon, because this has been in my to-buy list for months and months now, but it was always expensive until, like I said, Prime Day or sometime near there. The Studio Canal release of The Fifth Element finally dropped down to under $20. I want to say this was somewhere around 15 bucks if I'm not mistaken. So a really good price, and by all accounts, this is a much better transfer than the Sony release of Fifth Element on 4K. So that's why I've been holding off, because Fifth Element's a great movie. I own the Blu-ray steelbook of it, but I wanted to upgrade to 4K because I think it's going to look amazing on that format because it's super stylized. So yeah, very happy. I was finally able to get this Studio Canal release. Again, you can see here, this is a Region B release, but the disc itself is region free, of course, because it's 4K. So very excited to check this one out on the format. This is The Fifth Element, specifically the Studio Canal release of The Fifth Element. Sticking with new releases on 4K, this one from Kino Lorber, I did grab Sudden Death. Now, this is one that I cannot wait to check out. I've heard really good things about it over the years. Of course, it is a Jean-Claude Van Damme action thriller, but it takes place during like Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. It's supposed to be Die Hard at an ice arena. Count me in. That sounds amazing. So yeah, very intrigued to check this one out when I get around to it. This is the Kino Lorber 4K release of Sudden Death. I have to shout out someone in my comments on my anticipated releases video, because they asked me in that video, are you grabbing this movie that I'm about to talk about? And frankly, because it's a Region B release, it wasn't even on my radar. But thanks to them, I found it on Orbit DVD, and I did grab Heathers on 4K. Now, I have heard mixed things about the 4K transfer on this one, but either way, I didn't own it on any format in my collection, and I love this movie. This is a film that my buddy and I still quote to this day. It's just so good. And so because I didn't own it, I had to grab it on 4K. Of course, this is an Arrow Video release, and I opened it already because I filmed the first part of a review video. Unfortunately, I just didn't get around to it yet, so hopefully I will do that at some point here. But you can see the original cover art there, or original poster art as the reversible sleeve. So yeah, really cool looking release. I'm very intrigued to see what I think of the transfer. Like I said, I have heard some mixed things about it, but love the movie. So either way, it's going to be an upgrade from not having it at all in my collection. So definitely check out Orbit DVD if you are in the States and you're interested in checking it out. Pretty good price on this. I think it was $30 or so after shipping, so not bad at all for a 4K release from Arrow. This is Heathers. This is actually another one I bought quite a while ago, but it was on back order. This is the reissue steelbook of Starship Troopers on 4K. Now, this one I did open because the disc was loose inside. Fortunately, everything is totally fine, but yeah, this is a beautiful looking steelbook. It's the 25th anniversary edition of it, and a movie that I only owned on DVD, so I'm very happy to own this one on 4K now. I've heard really great things about this release, and it is loaded with special features, which is really cool, and the steelbook itself just looks beautiful. So happy to have Starship Troopers on 4K. 2 more steelbooks today, and both of these are new releases. I talked about both of them in my anticipated releases video, but first up here we have Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. I loved this movie when I saw it in theaters and cannot wait to revisit it on the 4K format. I think the Dolby Atmos on this should sound absolutely amazing. I know the other Fury Road, that Atmos was awesome, so I have high hopes for this, and I've heard great things about this 4K release itself. Definitely one I plan on checking out sooner rather than later, and the steelbook looks super cool. This is Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. And last but not least is the one that ended up at number 1 on my anticipated releases. I, of course, grabbed Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, the 4K Steelbook edition. And this one looks fantastic. Another one that I am so happy to have in the collection. What's really cool about this is the special feature on here where you can basically watch the movie without the CGI done on the actors. I forget what they call it on here, the raw cut. That's what it is back there. It's called the raw cut. So that's just an awesome special feature to have. I am so excited to check this one out, especially that special feature in particular. So yeah, awesome release here of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Not the greatest Planet of the Apes film, but I still really enjoyed it. And it's one of my favorite franchises of all time. So of course, I'm going to get the best release available. So last but not least today, we have the 4K Steelbook of The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. All right, so just an absolutely stacked months. Even, just looking at the new releases, there were so many great things to add to the collection, but then you had some other items that I ordered just finally making their way here. So great month of August and September. Already looking ridiculously huge as well. So yeah, definitely check out my anticipated releases video for September if you've not seen that one. But anyway, I want to hear from you guys. What did you grab in the month of August? Did you pick up these new releases? Did you grab from old things? Let me know whatever it is that you picked up last month. I would love to hear about it down in the comments below. But if you guys made it all the way here, thank you so much for checking this video out. I really do appreciate that. Before you take off, if you could just hit that like button, that engagement really does help me out. But thanks again, guys, for making it all the way to the end of this video. Your support means so much to me, so thank you so much for that. And before you go, I'll just encourage you all to consume some media today. Thank you guys yet again, and I will catch you all next time.